bring in Tom Gimbel, founder and CEO of LaSalle Network, a national staffing and recruiting firm. Great to have you on. Want to get your thoughts on more than 500,000 jobs added this past month. In a month, I might note that it tends to be seasonally weak, in part because of the weather. Are you, given what you're seeing at your firm, surprised to see it come in so much stronger than expected?
Where are the streamers, the balloons, and the champagne? I mean,
one balloon's over Montana right now.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any better than this. So anybody that's saying anything other than Yahoo, let's go, is crazy. We're seeing that small and medium-sized companies are hiring as much as they ever have, and the numbers indicate that. Well, people got scared off from big tech who thought the pandemic behavior would last for forever, and they overhired. And now we're seeing small and medium-sized businesses that have always been the fuel of this economy are going to drive this thing for the next year.
Yeah, the weekly claims data has not shown any signs of the churn we've seen in the tech sector and some of the layoffs we've seen from some of those big companies. Does it speak to the fact that people that are getting laid off from the Alphabets and Microsofts of the world are finding jobs elsewhere very quickly right now?
Yeah, absolutely. What small and medium-sized companies couldn't afford to keep up with the way salaries for mid and senior level white-collar talent was going. And so when big companies lay off those people, they're able to snatch them up. At the same time, big companies aren't putting a hiring freeze on. They downsize people. They still have attrition. They're still hiring people. And they're hiring people back at more reasonable salaries is what our research is showing us, is that what we've now seen is even though we've had over 4% wage growth over the past year, is that it's no longer an employee-driven market when it comes to compensation. And things are becoming a lot more traditional of this is what the job is, this was what it pays, and employers aren't going to be held hijacked by candidates who are with such a short supply. We're really starting to see the labor market even out in that way.
What you're saying is so crucial to what the market has been focused on, and certainly what economists and the Fed have been focused on, the wage piece of the puzzle. I mean, we saw high quit rates, and obviously we just got that JOLTS number yesterday, too, with 11 million job openings. But there had been this sense, at least until recently, that people could quit one job and go to another job and see a significantly higher salary attached to that. Are those days over?
They're not over, but it's the way, in my opinion, it's the way it should be, is that if you're the best of the best, that you're always going to have an opportunity to make more money. But what was happening during 2021 and 2022 was we were seeing the rank and file folks that were saying, hey, I can do this too, and companies were paying. And now it's settling back and saying, hey, wait a second. Not only can we get people back in the office, which is happening more and more and more every day, every week, but we're also seeing them say, we're going to pay you a fair wage. And if you deserve an increase of 3% or 5% or 7%, that maybe we pay that. But we're not going to be handing out 20, 25, 35% increases in base salary to people. I think those days are gone for a while. And to the earlier conversations about the interest rates, I mean, what were the interest rates like in 2004, 2005? 3.5%, 4%? And that wasn't considered unbelievably high. I think what we're setting into is really a more normal world. And the previous 7 or 8 years was the abnormal. And we're showing that our country and our government and our economy can function when interest rates are at a normal level.
Let me ask you about one of the headline findings in one of your surveys here. 85% of employed respondents considering quitting in 6 months. That doesn't mean that they plan to quit. It's a sort of fuzzier metric than that they would consider quitting. Am I understanding that correctly? Because I simply do not believe that 8.5 out of 10 workers are actively planning to quit their jobs in 6 months. Don't believe it.
Correct, Tyler. 85% responded that they would consider leaving their job.
So would I if somebody came along and said, here's $3 million. I mean,
Well, I think there's got to be some level of perspective. And Tyler, I'd keep my options open on that $3.5 million.
Okay. Yeah, make me an offer, brother. I'll be right there. All right. Thanks a lot.
But I think
go ahead.
The number is high, Tyler. There's no doubt about it. But what it means is the lack of engagement that exists, especially with people being in a remote work situation, isn't as high as it once was.
Yeah.
And that people would consider leaving, whether it's a bad manager, a bad company, a bad industry. And a lot of times when you have people working together towards a common goal in the same office, that number goes down quite a bit. There's a lot more continuity in the workplace.
Yeah, and I think also it does reflect, you have to say it reflects some confidence that people feel that they could move on to another job reasonably quickly if they were to leave the one they're in. Tom Gimbel, thanks very much.
Always good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Likewise.